the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that jetty Jerry O'Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We got some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
In our last episode, the hateful Hatfuls had just fired a cannon named Little Orby at the house belonging to Polonius Floy. Now, if you've been watching that episode, you would have known the whole plot. But as it is, let's go back a little so you can catch up.
Be careful, mister. This there's mighty hard on a cannon gun.
Inside the house, before the cannon went off, Fearless Leader had just explained the whole foul plot to Boris Badenov, alias Devil Dan Hatful.
Alias Felonious Floyd.
What, you're the head of both families?
Sure.
But that way you can't possibly win.
I always look on the bright side.
I
can't possibly lose either.
Achtung, Badenov.
Yes, Fearless Leader.
This is what we are after.
A derby hat?
But it wasn't just a derby hat. This was the legendary Kerwood Derby, whose wearer became the smartest man in the world. The Kerwood Derby had been worn by all the brilliant thinkers of history, men like Sir Isaac Newton.
I'd say that apple bashed my bowler. That proves the theory of gravitation.
It had been worn by Galileo.
Well, we all know the sun, she goes around the earth. Just like... Hey, what am I talk? The earth, she goes around the sun.
And now Fearless Leader was hot on the trail of the Kerwood Derby. There was only one hitch. It had to be found by the stupidest creature alive.
You cold?
Badenov, the moose is right in front of that cannon.
So Boris grabbed a club, smashed Bullwinkle, and drove him down into the cellar just as the gun went off. I say, just as the gun went off. All right, what's the matter?
Little Harvey gets temperamental sometimes.
Well, we can't go on with our story till it goes off again.
Now keep your hair on, stranger. Zeke here will find the trouble. Go on, Zeke.
Oh, here it is. The fuse isn't all the way in like it...
And that's where we wound up last time. The gun fired.
Me and Rocky still in the cellar.
And us up a tree.
In the next county.
Devil Dan, what be you doing here?
I be keeping an eye on you, Ephraim.
I'm Zeke.
Don't argue about details. Mosey on back to next county and bring me that moose.
Right.
And Ephraim,
Zeke.
bring back doctor, too.
You bet. He'll have you cured of the glanders in no time.
Glanders, that is a disease of horses.
Yep. That's the kind of doctor we got, too.
But we got busted backs and sprained ankles.
That may be what you got, but I know what he'll cure you of.
Glanders.
Glanders.
Oh, boy.
He's also good on split fetlocks and...
Get out of here.
Meanwhile, back at the root cellar...
Is the coast clear, Bullwinkle?
I can't see quite that far, Rock, but there's nothing around closer to hand.
Good. Let's get out of here.
Aren't we going to see Mr. Floyd?
No, sir. I don't think we'll ever get those two families to stop feuding, Bullwinkle.
And besides, he's gone.
You mean he's not in his house?
He may be, but it's gone, too.
And our heroes dashed off.
You know, I wonder whatever happened to that Missouri Meese convention.
I think that convention was just a bit of jiggery-pokery.
They all are, but only after the business meetings are over. Pretty good, Rock. I said, Rock? Rocky, where are you?
Oh, my sainted Aunt Agnes. Rocky has disappeared.
Well, now they've gone too far.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna disappear, too.
Be sure to see our next episode, The Vanishing American, or No Moose is Good Moose.
Time for the dancing fool, Bullwinkle.
Again? And now for one of our special fairy tales.
Yeah.
Quite some time ago, a young bear, upon reaching his 21st birthday, said to his mother,
I think I'll take a walk in the rain.
You go out in your bare feet and you'll catch cold.
but he paid his mother no heed and took a 3-hour constitutional in what amounted to a torrential downpour. Oddly enough, he didn't catch cold, but he did contract a severe case of up-and-down fever, which ran up and down the coast at that time of year.
I feel awful. Where am I?
Citrus of Lemon Hospital, I'm your nurse, and I shall watch over you until you're well healed again.
The fever-racked Bruin had a nasty time, and for a while it was doubtful whether he would ever pull through. And then, suddenly, instead of taking a turn for the worse, he took a turn for the nurse.
Boy, what you do to me.
The bear got his health, and the nurse got a husband. They were married in the little church around the corner, up the hill, across the tracks from Grandma's house.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Give the little lady a bear hug.
We now move forward in our story some 10 years later. Mr. and Mrs. Bear reside in this cozy cottage. They have a 10-year-old bear son. Well, that is, he doesn't run around bear. He's a bear, little bear. I mean, well, you know what I mean.
Daddy, where's my baseball glove?
Don't ask me, kid. There's so much junk lying around here, I can't even find a front door.
Oh, it's true. The house was a mess. And it was all because Mrs. Bear sat around all day watching television and munching chocolates.
Ethel, are you in this room?
I'm over in the corner watching the radio.
The narrator said you were watching television.
Television's busted. I'm watching radio.
Well, look, Ethel, this place is a mess. And it's about time we cleaned up around here.
She cleaned up all right, and she started by mopping up the floor with Mr. Bear.
Leave me alone when I'm watching radio.
This deplorable situation existed for 1 year, and then, one day, Mr. Bear put his foot down.
Ow!
Ooh, I'm sorry, kid. I didn't see you. Ethel, I'm going to make a very important phone call, if I can find a phone.
It took 1 full week, but by tracing the wire, he finally located the instrument.
Hello? Home Economy Bureau? Say, send over a home economist, will you?
Why you doing that?
Because somebody's going to come over and see how we're living, that's what. You'll send one over? Keno, lady. She's on her way.
So is dinner. Porridge is on the table.
Whereabouts is the table?
It's in the dining room somewhere. We'll find it.
Thanks to the steam emanating from the porridge bowls, they found the table and prepared to dine.
Ooh, this porridge is too hot.
Yeah, you're right. It is a trifle warm.
It's too hot for me to eat.
Come on, we'll take a walk in the woods and let it cool off.
What about the home economist?
Let her cool her own porridge.
No. I mean, suppose she gets him and finds nobody home.
So she'll wait.
Well, as if you hadn't guessed by now, the home economist was named Goldilocks.
This place needs dusting.
I don't know how she did it, but the next thing she saw was the porridge on the table.
Better sample this and make out a consumer's report. Brand X is far superior to Brand Y or Z. And it tastes just like the higher-priced mush.
Next in line was the durability test on the furniture.
They're all Danish modern.
Making a note of it, she then went upstairs to examine the bedroom, which was a very difficult thing to do, as this was a 1-story house.
3 beds, leaping lizards.
Yes. Goldilocks was once the voice of little orphan Annie before she had her eyes fixed. Anyway, our little home economist tested all 3 beds and eventually fell asleep on the smallest of the 3.
Well, we're home. Let's eat.
Hey, somebody's been eating my porridge.
Yeah, somebody's been eating mine.
Whoever ate mine even ate part of the bowl.
Mash bagels.
Don't be silly. It was probably the home economist. Oh, my gosh, look at my rocking chair. It's still rocking.
We've been invaded.
Calm down. I tell you, it's probably the home economist.
It was then that Goldilocks' snoring fell upon their ears.
I hope it isn't those boys from UCLA looking for another mascot.
I'll get my gun.
It was a mighty concerned threesome that ascended the stairs.
I thought this was a 1-story house.
Shh. The snoring's getting louder.
Well, sir, they spotted Goldilocks sleeping in the little bear's bed. Well, that's better.
You in the little bear's bed. Give your name, rank, and serial number.
Oh, hello. Oh, I'm Goldilocks, the home economist.
Now, you see, Ethel, I told you. Say, what do you think of our living conditions, Annie?
Goldilocks, I think you're living in squalor. Isn't that near Beverly Hills?
By squalor, I mean that your living conditions are deplorable, awful, real bad.
That's what I've been telling Ethel for years. What can we do about it?
Move! I shall see to it that you live in a nice, clean, modern apartment specifically designed for bears.
Wonderful!
And so the three bears moved, but they weren't happy.
Nice, clean, modern apartment. Phooey!
Well, at least it's got air conditioning.
Hello there, sailors and other poetry fans. Today's salty yarn is a poem by that old ancient mariner, Alan Cunningham. Oh, a wet sheet and a flowing sea, a wind that follows fast and fills the tight and rustling sail and bends the gallant mast.
Bullwinkle!
And bends the gallant mast, my boys, while...
Bullwinkle, isn't your gallant mast bending a little too far?
Mr. Cunningham says that's how it's gotta be.
Now what are you doing?
I'm balancing the boat by, flipping the jib.
Flipping the jib?
Certainly, see? It's balanced.
Yeah, but suppose the wind changes.
Silly squirrel. Mr. Cunningham says it never changes this time of day.
Moose overboard!
Yeah. Oh, a wet seat and a flowing sea.
Mr. Cunningham says it's a wet sheet.
He knows what he's got. I know what I got. Today's lesson is mighty important, remember?
Bullwinkle is a...
Not that lesson. This lesson.
The Iron Horse, nickname for the first transcontinental train and real name of an animal that ran dead last at Hialeah. But we are more concerned with the former, for Canada in the year 1903 was desperately striving to span the continent by rail. Due to the rugged terrain, however, the tracks had only got as far as that most awesome of natural barriers, Gorgeous Gorge.
Well, Potter, you're an engineer. How do we get tracks over that?
Engineer Potter finally came up with a solution.
We'll float the tracks over on balloons.
The balloon idea might have worked, except that Potter blew up one too many and forgot to let go. An emergency meeting was called.
Montague thinks we should throw the tracks over. Harrigan thinks we should throw Montague over.
Why don't you fellers build a bridge?
They fired the janitor, but kept his idea. Now, in those days, bridge builders were practically non-existent. In fact, the only construction workers were house wreckers, and the biggest house-wrecking firm was Edifice Rex. Edifice Rex had a foul reputation, and the same could be said for its general manager, the ever-unpopular Snidely Whiplash.
Look, if the price is right, I'll build your bridge.
We'll pay anything.
That's a little low, but in this case, I'll make an exception.
Construction began the next morning.
Where do you want this case of dynamite, boss?
Stick a 365-day fuse in it, light it, and put it on the bridge.
365 days later...
Congratulations, Whiplash. I shall now christen the bridge with this champagne.
Domestic champagne, do it every time.
The bridge went up 40 times and came down the same amount. It was a situation that only the Royal Canadian Mounted Police could handle, and they sent their best men, our valiant hero, Dudley Durite.
I understand you're having trouble with your water heater.
No, it's the bridge. Take a look at it quick. They don't stay up very long. See what I mean? Someone's engaged in sabotage.
I know a couple engaged in Toronto.
You must find the culprit.
Actually, they're going to be married in Quebec.
The first thing you should do is question the engineer.
Egad, Rollo, we've destroyed more bridges than a nearsighted dentist.
Allow me to introduce myself, gentlemen. Constable Mounted Police of the Dudley Do-Rights.
Curses, it's the Pollyanna of the tall timber. What can I do for you, Constable?
I understand that your bridges are falling down.
There's another way of saying that, you know.
Henceforth and forthwith, the next bridge that goes up shall stay up, and I shall stay up with it.
Girder by girder, plank by plank, the bridge began to take shape. Dudley was like a man possessed. He stayed on the job 24 hours a day, never sleeping, never eating.
I have insomnia, and I'm on a diet.
Ah, but Whiplash was a man to be reckoned with.
What is that you are setting on this bridge, sir?
That's a birthday cake.
Those are singularly strange candles on that birthday cake. Pray tell, what do those letters TNT stand for?
Those are the initials of the man whose birthday it is. TNT. Tippecanoe and Tyler.
Shouldn't that be Tippecanoe and Tyler, too?
He won't be 2 till tomorrow.
The final nail was driven home, and the bridge stretched itself majestically across the yawning chasm. That's when Whiplash lit the candles.
Shh. Now you wait right here on the bridge while I go find Tippecanoe and Tyler.
Not one to be a party pooper, Dudley obeyed the request. Whiplash, on the other hand, wasted no time in getting off the ill-fated structure. That is, he almost got off.
Sorry, sir, but this is a toll bridge. You can't cross unless you can pay the toll.
Well, quick, you dunderhead, how much is it?
$83.42. But even if you paid, I couldn't let you cross. This is a train bridge, and you're not a train, are you?
Knowing that it would explode momentarily, Whiplash dashed back to the cake.
Out of my way, do-right. I must blow out the candles.
You cannot do that, sir. That privilege is reserved for Tippecanoe and Tyler.
Mother of pearl, I'm enmeshed in my own cesspool.
But fate was about to step in, for over the railing climbed a pathetic little man who said,
I understand you're throwing a party for me up here.
Don't tell me your name is...
Tippecanoe and Tyler.
Blow out the candles, I implore you.
Just a moment, there is something amiss here. You said Tippecanoe was going to be 2 today. This man looks more like 6.
And Dudley threw the cake over the side.
You're sure the trouble is over?
Positive, Inspector. In fact, I collected all these spare sticks of dynamite, brought them back here to the post, and put them in your file cabinet.
What file cabinet?
That file cabinet.
That's a pot-belly stove. Hurry, see if the fire's still burning.
I think it's out now, sir. Sir? Oh, sir! Yoo-hoo, Inspector!
It's a well-known fact that the hat makes the man, be he rich man, poor man, spaceman, thief, soldier, sailor, or Indian chief. It's the hat that does it. Just imagine what would happen if an admiral looked like this, or an astronaut like this, or a poor man like this.
Ridiculous.
Yes, hats are important, all right, but no hat in history ever caused the controversy that this one did, for this is the Curwood Derby, which makes anyone who wears it the smartest person in the world, and it's being eagerly sought by Boris Badenov and his fearless leader.
Once my head is under that hat, Badenov.
You'll be smart.
What?
I mean smarter, dear old chiefy boy, honeypot, superior officer Dow.
Badenov, you're making my cuffs soggy.
Sorry.
And what happens when your fearless leader is all-powerful?
Pottsylvania rules the world.
Hail, Pottsylvania! Hail to the black and the blue! Hail, Pottsylvania! Sneaky and crooked, through and through. Down with the good guys, up with the boss. Under the sign of the Triple Cross. Oh, hail, Pottsylvania! Hail, hail, hail! Himmelwerfer, was ist los?
What else? It's hail, and you asked for it.
There's only one hitch in the villain's plan to find the lost derby. It must be found by the stupidest creature alive, which up to our last episode was Bullwinkle Moose. But then his hero, Rocky Squirrel, suddenly disappeared, and a moment later, so did Bullwinkle. Well, it seems there's nothing left to do but start another series.
You wouldn't dare.
Rocky, what's up?
I am, and so is Bullwinkle.
Yes, our two heroes were dangling from trees high above the ground where they had been snatched by a couple of cunning traps laid in their path.
Yeah, but who'd want to trap us?
Especially upside down.
We uns would, Moose.
Who, you uns?
We uns is hatfuls, that's who uns.
But why trap us? Us?
'Cause we got to take y'all to Devil Dam.
Both of us?
No, not y'all, just y'all.
And one of the hatfuls leveled his gun upward.
Look out, Bullwinkle!
He got me!
No, he didn't, Bullwinkle. It was your rope. Your rope.
I know, and I'm at the end of it too, Rock.
Grab 'em, boys.
And the jubilant hatfuls lugged the dazed Bullwinkle into the woods while Rocky fumed helplessly high above.
Hey, I can't get the trap off my foot. Well, there's only one thing to do.
And the plucky squirrel zoomed straight upward to the end of his rope. The cord drew tighter and tighter. And finally a tree limb snapped and Rocky was free, except for a 10-foot branch trailing behind him.
Hang on, Bullwinkle, I'm coming.
Down the aerial speedster flashed lower and lower.
Run, Zeke, run. Here comes that pesky squirrel.
Well, I got just a thing for pesky squirrel.
What's that?
My pesky squirrel gun. I'll stay here, and when he goes past, I'll let him have it.
Sure enough, when Rocky flashed by, Zeke rose to his feet and leveled his rifle. Unfortunately for him, Zeke had forgotten about the trailing tree branch. Well, the branch saved Rocky that time, but then as he approached Bullwinkle's captors...
Hey, you guys, drop that moose!
The branch caught in the fork of another tree, and Rocky was snapped down and out of sight.
Well, that takes care of him, Alfred. Let's go.
I could sure use a squirrel tail for my car aerial.
There's no time. Let's go.
And the Hatfuls hurried through the woods, bearing the bewildered Bullwinkle toward a sinister hut where a rather unpleasant reception committee awaited him. Don't miss our next episode, Hello, My Booby, or Pleased to Beat You.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say.
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
My fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?